March 5th. It will also benefit Mary Bird Perkins, dude. We've got like 13 chicken wing vendors. We're going to have 15 when it's all said and done. So, yeah, dude. Yeah. What's up?
For some reason, program 4 got pulled out, and I don't know if we had audio on Facebook for that first minute.
Do you want to just start the whole entire thing over? Would that make you feel better? Make me feel better? Or
Okay.
do you want to just keep going and edit?
No. There's no way to edit it. You just had like a minute and a half of dead air on Facebook, just you talking with no audio. Would you like to start the whole thing over?
No, as long as we're recording this.
We are.
Yeah. So
No,
why don't
this
you
was
just keep
fine.
going? You'll edit all this out. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is real, guys. This is real. Law degree. Criminal defense attorney. So, this episode of scratch that too. This episode of the Geaux Rouge Show is brought to you by the following sponsors. Sullivan's Steakhouse, friendly neighborhood steakhouse. They're going to be doing some Thirsty Thursdays with us. Breck, it's February, Black History Month. Breck at the Magnolia Mound is doing a Black History event every Sunday for the month of February. Go to the Geaux Rouge page later today, and I will have posted all those things. Very cool of Breck. Louisiana Tech Park, the law offices of Smith, Shanklin, Sosa, a premier personal injury law firm. They're not about billboards. They're about getting stuff done. We have Realtor Brittany Melanson from Keller Williams Red Stick Partners. She'll help you list it, sell it, and move on. And then lastly, the Borghardt Law Firm. So let's get right to it. Baton Rouge Sucks is in the studio. Y'all come over to the microphones. We've got Devin, Zach, and Zach.
Hey,
what's going on?
Hey.
So
Yeah, we do this the whole time? Or?
you guys,
Yeah.
so you guys may be wondering, Brian may be wondering, why in the world would a radio show that celebrates all the best things in Baton Rouge have a group of guys that run a podcast entitled Baton Rouge Sucks?
Because we're the best things in Baton Rouge.
We are the best things in Baton Rouge.
Well,
Yes.
you guys are
we're
pretty...
the funniest, the most handsome,
Most famous.
most famous,
Well,
you're
most
cer-
professional.
You're
Yeah,
certainly
yeah.
more handsome than Richard Condit, but that's another story.
Well, it's my
And
youthful looks.
I think it's because you work out more.
Yeah.
So here's
I ride whatever he said in that video. I ride more miles than that.
Yeah.
So
double.
just want everyone
Double.
to know that.
So here's the deal. I firmly believe, both as the host of this radio show and as an attorney that does a little bit of civil rights work, I firmly believe that comedy and satire has a good place in society for social change. We need you guys to be that mirror that looks at society and says, you know what? No. No, we're going to give you the other side of things. And so that's why I invited you guys on. So let's kick it off. What is Baton Rouge Sucks?
Just like a comedy riff podcast. Yeah, us three, and then our buddy Aaron, who has strep right now.
Poor
She
thing.
couldn't be here.
She seemed like a very nice girl. When I met her,
Yeah.
she seemed like a nice girl.
Yeah, she's the only nice. Well, you actually, I'm the only mean one. Everyone else is nice. I guess.
Yeah, we're all very kind people.
Yeah, I don't know. We just we started. We wanted to find a way to promote all the like DIY local shows.
Okay.
So we figured we read for like an hour on the radio. Or
So
not radio,
it
the podcast.
started, if I'm understanding you right, it started as a, hey, we're going to celebrate and I mean that in the loosest of words. It started as a music-oriented podcast, right?
Yeah, well, just music and art that's in Baton Rouge that's not necessarily known about, because we had a lot of friends who were in, really good bands or doing like weirder art stuff that, may appeal to less people, but it's still just as cool as everything else.
Right. So how did you come up with the concept of, quote, Baton Rouge Sucks?
Just because that's what everyone says. It's like a kind of like a joke, like, oh, Baton Rouge sucks. Like,
Yeah.
Baton Rouge sucks, and no one ever like does anything. So
Yeah.
it's like,
So that's
well,
the-
why?
They just moved to
Why?
New Orleans.
Dude,
So the irony is,
almost said a bad word, y'all.
it's okay.
I drank too much yerb. I'm
Yeah.
heated.
You're monster. He's monstering it up in
yeah.
there.
Monster energy. Yerb
So the
monster.
irony is, I often hear people say, man, there's nothing ever to do in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge does, quote unquote, suck. And I'm looking at him like, now wait a minute. There's plenty to do in Baton Rouge. Now, there's plenty of bad stuff to do in Baton Rouge, and there's plenty of great stuff to do. So how do you guys kind of filter that out? Because you do promote. It's not like it's just pointing out all the bad things. Y'all do promote people and bands and art, right? I mean, that's a part of.
That's
100%.
a big part of it, and I think what we do is, whereas like you have like publications like Advocate and 225 and stuff. Not like putting them down. I mean, I do sometimes, but right now I'm not. But they have like the bigger venue stuff, like events with a lot of money going into them,
Right.
whereas we kind of highlight all the DIY events.
Yeah.
Like,
And when you say, just for those who don't know,
do it yourself.
right? I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so give me an example of a venue that's a DIY venue.
Southside Arts Center.
Southside.
I went there for the first
the
time
wood
for a
shop.
show. In
Yeah.
fact, I met you. I think Zach.
Maybe.
Yeah. Are you? I think
Sure.
you were working it.
No, I haven't worked there in a while, but yeah,
I think
was there.
But you were there. It was a multi-pronged show, right? It was
Yeah.
music, comedy, poetry. No show, not no show, and then also Latco was there too.
Yeah.
So I mean, so that's an example of a
Yeah.
DIY, smaller venue, more affordable
Yeah.
to attend.
Oh,
Oh yeah, 100%.
$5 to $10
Yeah,
bucks.
$5 to $10 a show, and then there's like the Wood Shop, which is a spot that does a lot of heavier shows, and then there's a new one, Sour House, that is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Where's that gonna be?
It's in the kind of like a Tigerland neighborhood in an apartment there, and definitely go check out Sour House. They used to do a bunch of parties there back about like 3 or 4 years ago, and now they got a new group of guys who are starting to back up, and so they do a lot of they'll have people doing like painting and selling art, as well as what does Xander call his? What does he call it?
It's audio.
Isn't it
Audio art. Yeah,
audio
art.
Man, let Devin get on that
Yeah,
microphone,
yeah.
man.
Zach, you want to share
Dude,
mine? Wow.
Yeah,
Nah, it's all
So-
good. I
History month
mean,
and everything.
yeah.
y'all see how they do me.
Bumping out the black guy.
All right.
So okay. So besides just the podcast, which is great, which by the way, if I didn't know about the podcast, where can I listen to it? Where can I find it? Where can I
Anywhere.
subscribe?
Yeah,
It's on everything.
Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify. We've got a Patreon page up if you guys want to contribute.
Give us money.
Yeah, please.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it'd be nice to like be able to make this monetized.
Yeah, because then we can also
Yeah.
make more content for everybody.
Right,
Right. Right.
So people are funny, right? They think that by monetizing something, when I monetized Geaux Rouge, people think, man, you're selling out. It's like, no, I want to make a better product, and I cannot. It gets to the point where you're like, I'm tired of just sponsoring my own product
Right.
from my own wallet. So that would be a good reason to patron you guys or
Exactly.
sponsor.
Patronize us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would love patronizing you guys.
Please online.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other digital content you guys make. You've been known to make some videdos.
Yeah.
You've been known
Couple-
to talk to me a little bit about the ideas behind the videos and your other content.
Well, like the tourism video, that was like for a live
One of the
show.
funniest things I've ever seen, by the way.
Oh,
Thank you. Yeah, we just worked on that because we didn't really know what we were going to do.
Right.
Someone asked us to do something for a show, and we were like, we'll just do a live podcast, and we put a bunch of material together. I don't want to say a whole lot because I want people to come to like the next live thing.
Right.
But yeah, and yeah, we put a video to kind of like introduce Baton Rouge to the everyone
It was
there who lives in Baton
let's
Rouge.
just call it what it was. It was kind of a mock off on like Visit Baton Rouge and the whole like
It was like an anti-tourism
Yeah, it was an anti-tourism and like your video spawned like I do a criminal defense practice, despite what certain people in this room may believe. I actually lawyer every once in a while, Brian. So I had people come to me and like they were like quietly like, "Is there really a cocaine problem in Baton Rouge?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's spot on."
Yeah, it's not that good.
About as good as the about as
The problem we've run into.
yeah.
is that it's not good.
So okay, so you make that video. Let's talk. You make that video. What was the feedback on that? Obviously, you're going to have a lot of fans say, "Man, that's awesome." Was there any negative feedback to you guys about that? Not that you care.
Once you get past like 100 comments on something, you can't read them anymore.
Yeah.
Too many people.
It's the fray at that point,
Yeah.
and I don't care. So
Yeah. The great thing about the
Haters are my
internet,
motivators, you know.
if you, as soon as you care on the internet, you lose. So
Yeah.
Well, so that's what I tell people is, and I'm not equating you guys to trolls, but fighting with a comedic satirical group is a lose proposition.
yeah.
Like it's to me it's like when the few times I've made tire droppings as an attorney, I'm like, yeah, look at that, I'm tire droppings.
There you go.
I screenshotted it, I framed it, it's in my office.
You got to.
In fact, one of the running shticks about me and tire droppings right now is I actually had somebody go on there and defend me and say, hey man, that Franz guy's a good guy, and I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, you know. Of course, there were no comments after that, and they got like some pluses or some negatives. So okay, what is on tap for the future for you guys? Like, obviously, we want to monetize. We want to get you out there a little bit further. You're in the look. You're already in a podcast platform. You're already doing videos. Can we find you guys on YouTube, or is it best just to go to your social media?
The Facebook page is probably the most active place. To
Yes.
find our content.
And then there's a group too. There's a Baton Rouge Sucks group as well, right?
Yeah, it's not super active, but hey, if you guys want to join Baton Rouge Sucks posting, it's all right. It's fun.
I thought I thought it was poop posting, as you would say.
Poop posting.
Poop posting. We can't say the S word.
I said
We can't
sucks
say the S
posting.
word. We can say sucks, but we can't say the SHIT
He was
word.
mistaken.
Okay.
So back to what's on tap for you guys in the future. I know that you're on Jada Cody's show this week.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets a second serving of you. He
Yeah,
gets the
yeah.
leftover. I get the first. He gets the leftovers. Sloppy seconds.
Yeah.
That's what we should call his show.
Yeah.
And then balance it out.
All right. So
I love that.
I love Jada Cody. He's a nice guy.
Oh, Jay's great.
Shout out Jay.
Shout out to Jay Ducote. Yeah, so look, on the horizon, what can I expect to see from 2020 from you guys? You guys are
Hopefully more events.
Yeah, more events. We'll probably do some more like live pod style events,
Right.
And maybe some more video content that's maybe more planned out.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
maybe.
you guys are creating art. It's not like it's not scripted and planned out ever, right?
well,
Yeah, we're kind of like,
Very calculated.
yeah, we're like
Every
Jackson
move we
Pollock, but instead of paint, it's like,
Poop.
alcohol. And,
your finger painting.
yeah.
Well, look, guys, you
great metaphor.
guys are always going to be welcome on this show. I again reiterate, Brian, that I think one of the highest ways of making things better is satire. I think that, especially in a cancel culture environment, I want the jester, and I'm not saying you're jesters, but I do want the court jester to be able to look at the king and say you're an idiot. And if we don't have that, we can't talk about things. We can't talk about the drug problem. We can't talk about the fact that there are legitimate issues facing, whether it's bad music scene, whether it's education, whether it's drugs. If we can't talk about those things, then they're so out of control that they're never going to get better. So Baton Rouge Sucks. I've got Devin,
Sucks.
Zach, and Zach. Thank you guys for coming in.
thanks for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having us.
Let me know if y'all ever need anything, man. I'm Devin. I'm glad they shared the microphone with you, man. I'm
Oh
sorry.
man,
It's
that's the least they
February.
could do.
It's February. Well, you guys have a great day, and I'll definitely be in touch. And look,
Bye, Internet.
bye, Internet.
See you later.
So that was amazing, man. I like those guys. They're awesome. So next up, Brian, you ready? We're going to have Susan G Komen coming in. We got two wonderful ladies from Susan G Komen. We've got Beverly Fields and Anna Check-Schneider. Beverly Fields and Anna Check-Schneider is coming in to talk to us about Race for the Cure. Have you ever done Race for the Cure?
Come on. No, actually, you know what? I've never run Race for the Cure.
You've
because I'm
always
always
worked it.
working Race for the
Because you're
Cure.
volunteer.
Right. Spent
So-
the last 6 years on Komen's board, so
Dude,
I know a thing or two
you're
about
like
this.
a Komen.
Do what?
You're like all about Komen.
Yeah, no. I
Anna,
know the-
Beverly, how are you guys doing today?
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure. I love Susan G Komen. I fundraised for them. I don't know if you were aware of this. I was a bigwig. We're not talking about bigwigs today, but I was not only a bigwig, Beverly. I was the biggest wig.
The biggest wig.
Biggest wig. So, but today we're talking about Race for the Cure.
Wait,
We
you're just going to blow right past the whole bear costume?
bear in a tutu.
And a tutu. Yeah.
So, yeah, I am going to blow past that. So we have Race for the Cure coming up February 29th. It's going to be where, what, when, and how. Talk to me.
It's at AZ Young Park,
Downtown.
downtown
AZ Young Park.
Okay. So in the past years, it's been what, off of campus, or am I just making that up in my brain?
This is our third year being at this
Okay,
location.
okay.
Prior to that, we were at LSU at the old.
Yeah, I
old-
guess that
old
shows you how
running
much
course.
I haven't been going. I'm going to run it this year. I'm totally running it this year. I'm going to run it this year.
You need to get a team together.
Well, I'm helping a team. Tyler, shout out to Tyler Poza. So I
they're
got
a good
recruited.
team.
I got
Yeah.
recruited early. So what is this event about? Like, it's a race, obviously, but there's more than just running or walking. What is it about?
The purpose of it is for fundraising. Obviously, we're looking to raise as much money as we can. 75% of the funds that we raise for this event stay in our Komen, Louisiana parish community. The rest of it goes to Komen headquarters to support research. Komen's big goal is to reduce breast cancer deaths by 50% by 2026.
So,
Yes.
so supporting this event is supporting the fight against breast
Absolutely.
cancer.
Correct.
Simply put.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't know, but Louisiana ranks third in breast cancer deaths in the United States. So, I mean, this race is our biggest fundraiser of the year. We get almost...
It varies. It
Yeah.
varies. Unfortunately, typically we do this in March, and depends on the calendar year and what's going on downtown. And the earlier in the year it is, unfortunately, the less participation we have because people are just getting through Christmas and then with
And
Mardi
Mardi
Gras,
Gras.
Well,
and so
But again, it's not just a race. There's music.
absolutely.
I mean, you got Brian Haldane out there. I mean,
Michael
Enter-
Foster
Yeah.
Band is going to be providing music for
Wow.
us in a second line. The Jambalaya Festival Association is going to be providing jambalaya for all registered race participants. So
BRQ is doing our Survivor
Exactly.
breakfast, which is
Of
awesome.
course they are.
Yes,
Yep.
and Justin Ferguson
Shout
was
out to
also
Justin
one of our
Ferguson.
big wigs last year.
Justin's a really BRQ, Justin, great people doing great things
They
for
really
the community, including for Komen. So, for more information about this wonderful event, where would I go? If I'm listening on Facebook World, enjoying you ladies doing a great job, where would I go to get more information?
best place is probably our website, ComenLouisiana.org.
Okay.
You can get information about all the events that we've got leading up to the race for off-site registrations. You can always come to the Komen office on Perkins Road at any point if you want to register. There's online registration up until a couple days before the event starts. So
And we do have virtual runners too.
exactly, you can.
So if you can't make
come,
it-
exactly, if you can't
What
come
is a
race day.
what's a virtual runner? Talk to me more.
It's a means of participating without actually showing
Physically
up.
running.
Correct.
Okay. You know what? I would love to run this thing.
Virtually.
I think I'm going to be virtually. I think I'm going to be out of town though. I think I'm going to be in Disney actually, so I may miss it.
you could be a virtual runner.
I'm going to be a virtual runner, but Brian Haldane's going to be out there. I mean, and so probably.
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
You heard it Facebook Live. If he doesn't show up, hold him to the mat. Hold him to
Right.
the mat.
I mean,
the
look-
mayor's going to be there too. WAFB is going to help
And
us host.
we have all sorts of teams out there too. That's the
Correct.
best part is there's different teams, different businesses. You don't have to
Exactly.
be. By the way, you don't have to even be a business. You can just
Oh,
on the team.
absolutely.
Correct.
Family, friends.
What's the criteria for a team?
10 people.
That's it.
Yep.
I mean, I think I know 10 people. I think
You
I have
can-
10 friends.
You can register
Maybe
your team
9.
online.
Probably not. Probably not. So, wow.
And,
So-
and it's not just the registration. We're encouraging people to fundraise and
Right.
and encourage your family and friends
Well,
and coworkers and such.
I was looking on social media today. One of my good friends, Jennifer Moisant, is running, and she was fundraising online.
Yep.
Shout out to Jennifer Moisant. Shout out to Jennifer Moisant. She was fundraising online on Facebook, and it was like basically the point, click, and donate.
Yep.
So you can do that as well if you want to fundraise.
Absolutely.
Man, this is exciting. You guys are doing. Komen does so much great stuff, Brian. I mean, I'm not just saying that as the biggest wig. I'm not just saying that. I mean,
No, and nice job sneaking that back in there a second time without mentioning the dancing bear wearing a tutu. But along with the tailgating that goes on for the race is probably my favorite part of the day. Because along with the race and along with the fundraising is the camaraderie that goes on.
Absolutely.
And it all culminates before the race even starts with the Survivor Parade, which if you've never taken part in or seen, it is one of the most moving experiences you will
powerful.
witness. It really is.
right. So look, ladies, I appreciate you guys coming. You have day jobs. You came out here, Geaux Rouge Show. I mean, some of us have day jobs too. I mean, you wouldn't know it, but you came out here to talk about Susan G Komen. One more time, best place to find out information about this event would be what?
ComenLouisiana.org.
And look, Anne's going to make me share this on Grow. I would do it anyway, right? I'm a supporter.
I mean, you were the biggest wig. You're the face of Komen, at least until July.
So the other thing I want to talk about, since Anne's live in studio, even though we're here to talk about Komen right now, Anne is a Great Futures Gala Award honoree. That's coming up too, right? I'm not
March
trying to blindside
28th.
you. It's okay. We talk about this.
Let's talk about
we can
it.
talk about
Absolutely.
Let's
Boys
talk
and Girls
about
Club
it.
is a good organization. We can talk about that in Komen in the same breath.
We can.
So what is that, by the way?
So, Great Futures Gala actually is basically a fundraising gala to help raise money for kids in the community, the schools, the children. It's basically to help elevate them in the community.
Cool.
So, the gala is March 28th.
I was once a Gaylor.
No way. No
I may have raised
way.
the most money in that competition too, but no big deal.
Name dropper.
Actually, I think Blankenship raised the most money that year because she's all about Boys and Girls Club. But yeah, they can find out information where for that event.
You can go to greatfuturesgala.org or boysandgirlsclub.org.
Love it. So we've been listening to Ann and Beverly from Susan G Komen. We're going to take a break and come back with segment number 2. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
And we will definitely be supporting you guys and raising money to help fight breast cancer.
Fabulous.
Awesome. Thanks.
Before you leave,
It's hot
Facebook.
here.
It is hot in here. It's hot.
Hi.
I'm wearing a bow tie. I've got a Geaux Rouge hat for you two, but they were in the car, so I know you got to skedaddle. So next Komen, whatever event
Sure.
we go to, I'll get you your hats. Purple or red?
Fabulous.
Purple or red?
Ooh.
Purple. You're
I think
red.
I want red.
You're red. You purple. She's red.
Okay.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks, Brian.
Anytime. Absolutely.
So you're gonna have to do some editing on this one. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I'm not perfect. You're gonna have to edit this episode a little bit because there was some goof ups in the first part, like the Facebook volume and all that. All right. Borrow Empower. Can you grab Kat? Oh, Kat and Angela. So nice for you guys to be in studio. You're not yet on the radio recording, but we're on Facebook Live. Wave to everybody.
Hey, everyone.
So we're about to talk about, Brian, Empower 225. Last time I was talking about Empower 225 was with Julio from Business
Yes.
Report in this room. He
Yes.
was standing, Kat. He was standing right where you were standing.
Yes, Julio. We love Julio.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the second half of the show. We're gonna do an intro. So give me about a minute or two to do the intro, and then I'm gonna segue right into you guys.
You got it. So you have the live, right?
This is
while
on
we are
Facebook.
going.
This is on Facebook Live on Talk 107.3, and this is on Facebook Live on Geaux Rouge, and then wherever you share it, it will also be live.
Because while I'm talking, I can raise the
Yep.
gala.
You can use props, yeah.
Yes.
But you have to, very important.
Yeah.
This is a unsophisticated piece of technology,
Yeah.
for lack of better phrasing. You have to stay right,
Yep.
right here,
I'm
or
here.
it won't hear. Same with you. Look, you're too
I'm
far
right
away.
here.
Angela,
I'm too far away.
yeah, there you go. All right.
Can I run and get the
Yes,
piece?
go do it. Go do it.
Franz, can you slide your microphone to this side a little bit and then point it back toward that way? When you're talking to them, you're talking into your blowing past it. It's okay.
All right, ready? You just stand here and look.
Yeah. Y'all stand by for a second.
All right. We are back with episode 12 of the Geaux Rouge Show. This is our second segment. You're listening to Franz Borghardt. Brian Haldane is behind the master controls. Look, the second half of the Geaux Rouge Show is brought to you by the following sponsors. We've got the law offices of Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa, a premier personal injury law firm. We've got Realtor Brittany Melanson at Keller Williams Red Stick Partners. We've got the Borghardt Law Firm. That's my little lemonade stand. We've got Louisiana Tech Park, Breck. Breck is the sponsor. I don't know if you knew this again, Brian. We mentioned this in the first segment. It's Black History Month, and Breck at Magnolia Mound is going to be having Sunday. They're going to be having Sunday Black History events all February long. I'm going to post those on the Geaux Rouge page. And lastly, Sullivan's Steakhouse, my favorite neighborhood steakhouse is a sponsor. Look, second half of the Geaux Rouge Show, I've got Empower 225. I've got Kat and Angela talking about the Empower 225 Gala, which is coming up on February 13th. That's next week.
Yes.
That's next week. And then I've got Matt Tortorich who's going to be talking about the Baton Rouge music scene. Arts, culture, community events, all Geaux Rouge all day long. So I've got Kat, Angela. How are you ladies doing today?
Very
great.
well.
Thank you guys for coming down. We always welcome you guys to come here whenever you want to come. We have a gala to talk about. Talk to me about what's going on.
Yeah, so Empower 225, let me give you just a little bit of an overview of what it is. We are helping in the community just to help our kids to move forward from every hindrance. It can be homelessness, it can be fostering system, whatever it takes in order for you to move forward from 13 to 24. We deal with educational support, with the mentoring, with the housing, everything that they need in order to move forward. And right now, we are inviting you to our gala. It's February 13th at the Crown Plaza. It's $100 per ticket.
Right.
And we want you to be part of this community. You have something to give. You have something to give that we don't have. And we are just welcoming for you to be an impact in each of our youth.
I love it. Cat's fired up, Brian. I love
Yes,
it.
I am.
So, Angela, tell me, what does that $100 ticket get you?
So the $100 ticket, that's going to get you entry to our event, which is at the Crown Plaza.
Mhm.
So that will you'll also have a seated dinner, and then you'll have access to our silent and live auctions. We have a bunch of great things that were donated by a lot of our local businesses, also our corporate partners, donating vacation stays. So you'll have access to that. But most importantly, I think that we all can agree is that you'll have access to learn more ways how you can help the youth in the Baton Rouge area.
And it's a fun event.
Hello.
Of
Right.
course.
So, all right. So, if I wanted to get more information, and let's say hypothetically the Borghardt Law Firm wanted to be a table sponsor of this great event, where would I get more information about the event itself and sponsorship opportunities? Because you have sponsorship opportunities,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Talk to me. Talk to me, girls.
So you can go, if you're on Facebook, you can go to our Facebook page at Empower 225, and we have all of that information there that you can just click a link. Or you can go to www.empower225.org, and we have that information on our website as well. So there still are sponsorships available if you want to become a Dream, an Inspire, or an Elevate sponsor.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Well, I'm buying a table.
Yes.
I'm gonna have me and nine other of my friends
Yes.
at this thing. So, two people who I admire a lot spoke really well of you. First, Julio from Greater Baton Rouge Business Support. He was here last week, and he was talking about doing some fundraising work for you guys. And but that's not the reason you're here. The reason you're here is someone I admire more than Julio. Shout out to Kai. Kai cold emailed me before I even knew her. She's a realtor, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
She said, you need to sit down and talk to these people. They're doing an amazing thing in Baton Rouge. And so I always appreciate it when people take the initiative to say, look at what these guys are doing.
Yes.
And I looked at you guys, and y'all really are doing an amazing thing. And look, as someone who works in the criminal justice system, this is very important. Right?
Yes.
So we got about a minute left. What else do we need to know about this wonderful gala that's coming up?
Well, let me tell you, not only with the gala, but with the organization, if you want to sponsor and be part of it, that's awesome. But also be part of it with your hands, with your feet. Come in www.empower225.org and be a volunteer. Apply to volunteer. Again, you have something to give to our youth, and we need you. It takes a village. It just takes a village in order to move our community, in order to move our 70805. And I know that you have it in you. If you're thinking about it, just take action and do it. We are waiting for you.
Kat's got me having tingles right now. I love it. Thank you, ladies, for coming on. Look,
so much for having
us.
if there's anything you guys need,
Thank
let me
you.
know. Angela, I expect to be hearing from you.
You will.
And we will certainly be posting about this gala. Brian, if I get a table, I'm going to give you a ticket so you can come to this wonderful thing. Man.
Yes,
Fantastic.
Brian.
February
We'll
13th.
see you
through
there,
15th.
Brian.
Good day, ladies.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
All right. So now we're going to transition, Brian. We go from great community event to everything you need to know about the Baton Rouge music scene. That's a bold statement, right?
Covers a lot of ground.
Covers a lot of ground. So I have a good friend of mine, someone who's very special to me. Her name is Shannon. And Shannon knows this guy named Matt and said that if I'm going to have a conversation about music in Baton Rouge, and we really haven't covered, by the way, we haven't really covered on the Geaux Rouge a lot about music. I had to have Matt in. Matt, what's going on, brother?
How you doing?
All right.
Good to be here.
So Matt, we're here to talk, and I'm thinking this may be a recurring thing for you. We're here to talk about everything you need to know about the Baton Rouge scene that non-musical people may not know.
Right.
So where do you want to start? First of all, who are you? Musician, producer, rock star?
Yeah, I like to tell people Grammy nominated, never celebrated.
I got it.
Yeah,
I've never been nominated for a Grammy. Have
well-
you ever been nominated for a Grammy, Brian?
No.
Emmy? Emmy?
No.
Okay.
It was the long list, but Yeah, I've just been producing music, playing music, just the whole thing for many years, and I in my later years now I'm starting to kind of step a little bit away from the clubs and the live stuff, and trying to, I guess, hopefully help impart some wisdom, if you will, to some of the younger folks out there, and keep it going myself, but try and show some of the things I've learned.
So we had Baton Rouge Sucks on first segment, and they were talking about DIY, do-it-yourself musical events.
Yeah.
So they kind of broke that down. How would you divide up the music scene in Baton Rouge? What kind of events? How would you divide up the events and the opportunities to hear music?
I think one thing on that note that is actually a sticking point right now is, as we've seen in the music industry, first it was the actual music changed with the whole MP3 revolution.
Right.
And now I believe we're kind of going through another revolution with specifically live music, where there's not a very defined thing for people anymore. Meaning there used to be a culture surrounding certain types of places, like this is the rock club. Like you probably remember the Catery back in the day.
Oh Lord,
like
man,
that's where you went for that kind of thing. And
so I'm 41, Matt. You don't have to tell us your age. I'm 41. So Catery, Varsity.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really do Tigerland. That just wasn't my scene.
Yeah, I was all over, but those types of places really kind of developed an identity. And I think what we're seeing now is, with the advent of the social media stuff, a lot of artists, I think, are missing out on a very big opportunity to get their stuff heard, not only in a live music venue, but also, through social media. And I like to tell people the story, talking about the Varsity. I remember going to physically staple flyers to telephone poles at the Varsity. And, you spent 50, maybe $75 on flyers. You had to physically go out and do it for hours, and maybe you'd reach, like 300 or 400 people. For like $20, you can reach thousands of people. Right, exactly.
Right.
And I think that's something that a lot of the artists, I just wanted to throw that out there, because that's just a huge thing that, to give it the back in my day.
Yeah.
I think that would be wise for a lot of artists to do. As far as venues these days, they actually do have a couple really nice places. The Varsity used to be kind of the one, like, legit, traveling nationwide band venue, and now you have some places downtown, like the Basin, that just opened up recently. I mean, I've played music all over the world, actually, and this is one of the top notch as far as the aesthetic. Just places where people really could enjoy music like that. So there's still a lot of places out there, but like I said, I think we're just in this transitional period where people are trying to maybe please everybody, whereas there's not as much kind of culture in individual places that there maybe should be.
Let me ask you this, because one of the things I hear often is, man, I want to go see live music, but I don't know where to look.
Yeah.
So, like, there are certain, like, 225 Magazine, Dig, they'll calendar certain events.
Right.
But if you are trying to get a better grasp of what's going on musically in Baton Rouge, what are your outlets of resources? I mean, besides listening to you as an expert,
right?
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Where would you go online? What are there pages? Are there groups that are really promoting live music and musical bands?
Yeah. Again, there's really only, and I wanted to applaud your effort in doing this whole thing, because you're kind of putting into action what I'm talking about. You have the ability to create your own channel now.
Right.
And that is something that, people like yourself, I think, are becoming a great resource for people to do that. There is I believe it's called 225, Red Stick Music.
Okay.
That I believe I'm actually on there as an artist. So if you're looking, I believe they keep it fairly updated. As far as where to go for actual musical type stuff. You have always, of course, downtown on 3rd Street has various different things going on, whether it be DJ, live music, all those different types of deals. I play in a country band, so the Texas Club is still kicking. If you're into that kind of thing.
I haven't been to the Texas Club in a while, so let's talk about Texas Club.
Yeah, sure.
It's right around the corner from my house.
Okay.
So I'm not going to tell them where I live, but
right.
It has, and I don't mean this as a knock on them. When I look at the businesses that are still alive and breathing, like Tigerland doesn't surprise me, right?
Right.
Texas, though, I'm pleased that they have stood the test of time, man. They're killing it, right?
Oh, I can give you that's the exact perfect example of what I'm talking about. The Texas Club has been very smart in that, like I was saying, they created a culture and they created a lane for themselves, which is something that not a lot of places, I see doing, where they're trying to please everybody kind of a thing and just take what they can get.
Right.
Whereas the Texas Club has always been, this is what we are, this is what we're going to be, this is what we're going to do. And therefore, if you're the type of person that likes that, if you want to hear some country music, that's going to the Texas Club.
You're not going to go somewhere else.
Right, right. And that's what I think, like I said, is missing in some of the culture surrounding just the club and venue life. But like I said, we're in a transitional period where I think people are trying to just figure out, where to go next with, again, you're competing now not just with the other bars or venues, you're also competing with, people staying at home and doing Netflix instead of going out. And again, that's where you have to really be plugged into the social media aspect.
So what I think is going to be interesting is going to be when bands start utilizing social media more, because it's a double-edged sword, right? It's like that Napster issue. Man, if my music is available online for free, I get a bigger audience, right? I'm not making as much money off of it, but I get the audience. And you need the audience to make the money. But in the same breath, it's like that is such YouTube, Facebook Live, such powerful methods of you getting the word out.
I'll give you one more example for that I like to tell people. So I like to use the Blockbuster analogy, which was when Blockbuster was still breathing and Netflix came along. The argument from Blockbuster was, well, we don't care because people want the experience of coming into the video store and picking out their video, whatever. Well, we see how well that worked out.
Right.
It turns out people just want the message. They want the actual thing,
Right.
And the experience can be something added to that, but you're now able to give them that thing, in a social media setting, which to a lot of people, look, I'm a live musician. I've played on stages for thousands of people, and it's awesome. I personally am not the guy that really likes to go into the big festival and the big concert. I'm not a big crowd type of person.
Right.
So for me to be able to sit there and watch any artist I want right there in the comfort of my home or my studio, I'm one of those people. So I think I really kind of sympathize with that aspect of it. To relate it quickly just to the venue side of things, I think that's maybe one thing that a lot of venues, and again, you're kind of on the forefront of this, which I very much appreciate, of yes, we're going to do it live, but we're also going to get it out there into the ether of the social media world at the same time, because the technology has finally made it available to do that, and you don't need a crazy setup to do it. So that's another thing that I would highly like to see some more people doing out here.
So I'll give you a good example. I was judging at the Rue Rally this weekend. Brian was working it. Guarantee was the featured sponsor, and I guess it was Guarantee's event, Brian, right?
Yes, that's ours.
Yeah, I played it a couple years ago.
Yeah, there were
Great
a couple
event.
of bands there, and this is how funny it is. I had no idea who the bands were.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was sitting across from Michelle, who booked the bands from Eagle 98.1, and I'm like, man, these are really good bands. And she goes, right?
Yeah.
And I said, how do I get more info and details?
Right,
and she's like looking at me. She goes, well, this band is this, and this band is this. And I said, okay, well, tell me more. And she's like, you can go on their social media. It's
Yeah.
What I struggle with is I occasionally put on small events. I call them micro festivals. We have a Wingamania event coming up. It's a festival, but it's not like
it's not Jazz Fest.
It's not Jazz Fest. It's not the Strawberry Festival. It's a micro festival.
Right.
And what I struggle with is having a DJ, and I know you're a musician, but having a DJ for 3 hours presents different issues and different stress relief than sometimes having a band.
Yeah.
And so, but people want that live music, man. And it's like, and one of the great resources we have that comes into this building, K Solar. Kay does singer-songwriters, man. Yeah. So, I mean, we have so much stuff going on. My big concern is I hate that so much talent is here and sometimes gets glossed over because we just don't, if we don't promote it right, there's no reason to, we're all about food. We spin the message on food, but music is to me, we're a music culture, Yeah,
it's weird. I mean, I think what tends to happen actually, it's kind of analogous to what we see with education in Louisiana. The people that are really kind of in the top tiers they wind up leaving the state because of that issue. I mean, myself, I lived in California for a while working out there. I would travel around, and I've also been DJing for the past 10 plus years. So I've been to these, like I said, different clubs around the world, and you see, again, it's part of that culture that supports these places. It is kind of a weird thing, you know, like my country band, I guess I have to shout out, since you just mentioned we are playing the Strawberry Festival this year. We have millions of streams. We have songs that have played in Tiger Stadium for the past few years, Alex Box Stadium. We get more streams, according to our analytics, in Houston than we do in Baton Rouge.
Why do you think that is?
It's hard to say. I mean, I think like you were alluding to, it's just the culture is very focused around food and sports, and there is kind of like this missing kind of little piece, especially for local artists. And I mean, I hate to put the pressure on you, but this type of outlet, you know, is the type of thing that really the music scene, I think, locally needs.
So there's a reason you're here.
And let me just say this, organization. You know, you're an obviously very organized person. That is what always is the Achilles heel of musicians. So if there's a leader, as it were, to kind of gather, that's really, I think, that central thing that's missing.
So the reason you're here, more than just the fact that my wife said I needed to have you on the show, and when Shannon tells me to do stuff, Brian, I do it. That's a smart husband.
Got to.
Smart husband.
Smart man.
But the reason you're here is my cultural Achilles heel, no joke, is music.
Yeah.
I am on a radio show. I host a radio show. I have a podcast that's on, but I know very little about our local music scene. I know a lot about our art scene.
Yeah.
I know a lot about our culinary scene, charity, community. Music is my weakness. I was a high school band guy. I was in the LSU marching band for a total of a week before I was cut.
What did you play?
I played clarinet and saxophone, man.
Excellent.
Yeah, dude, I had a lot of fun, but that was it. That was pretty much, besides going to a few concerts, I really wasn't into the music scene. And I hate that I have this show that celebrates all the best parts of Baton Rouge, and that's my weak spot, man. That's like my underbelly weak spot. And so that's why I got you on. I'm trying to get Chad Bro on. Chad was the guy we were talking about. Chad and I went to Catholic High together. He is a working teacher / musician. He does kind of what you do. I mean, And he says, he echoes the same things you say, man. There's just a music scene that people don't know about, that you really need to talk about, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, dude, come, let's do it.
Yeah.
So in our time we have left, we have about 3 minutes. Give us some pointers. Give us some. Hey, if I want to jump in the deep end of this music scene in Baton Rouge, what should I do?
So I did want to give a shout out to one of my buddies who, if you were to ask me right now, who is the one band or show that if you saw was playing in Baton Rouge to go see, if we're talking specifically live music, I have a buddy by the name of Luis Mariani who's he's in a band called The Hitchhiker.
Okay.
And just super cool, like original rock type stuff that you don't really get the opportunity to hear very often anymore. Just like it's a group of musicians that have locally been around for a while, and it's kind of like a super group but flying under the radar type of a thing. So I definitely wanted to give him a shout out. I've seen places like the Revelry, I believe it's called, that just opened, are doing an excellent job of kind of putting their stuff out there. I haven't been there personally, but I feel like I know them because I've seen them on social media so much, and that kind of speaks to the power of that. So the Hitchhiker, definitely my one, if I had to give you one recommendation to go see. And I also wanted to give a quick little shout to, there's a studio in Baton Rouge called Socket Studio. That's something else that I think is maybe lacking on some of the band's ends. They need to up their quality of just, you know, if they're doing demos or doing stuff to put out. The iPhone camera, you know, microphone is not cutting it anymore.
Right.
So Socket Studio, that's the guy who, Devin Kirkpatrick, kind of gave me my start. He just redid the whole studio after he got flooded out in 2016. I'm talking it's world class. So if any bands are listening to this and want to really get their stuff out there and on the next level, I wanted to give that a recommendation as well.
If folks want to get more information about Matt Tortorich, where would they go, man? Whether your band or just you?
Yeah, right now I've been having fun kind of playing a variety of different things under my Matt and the Nobodies moniker. So that you can go to mattandthenobodies.com for that. And if you want to just kind of have more general info, just matthewt.ninja.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. Brian, we're going to get this young man back. I like this. I like having a music segment, having somebody in touch with what's going on. So listen, speaking of social media, if you want to get more information about Geaux Rouge, you can go to www.gauxrouge.net. You can go to our social media. We're huge on Facebook. We're huge like China on Facebook. We're on Twitter for Geaux Rouge. We're on Insta. Huge like China. Huge
like China.
Huge like Asia.
I mean, right now, I was going to say right now, huge like China means quarantined.
So, dude, we're going to have 20,000 follows and likes. I don't even know what that means, but we have 20,000 folks click and like and follow, and we're going to have that before the end of the week. So, very excited. This is Franz Borghardt, Brian Haldane on Mass Controls. Have a great week, and we'll be back with another episode of Geaux Rouge.